Welcome to the Powerbomb Project. My name is Berman, one of your hosts, accompanied by my one other host because Chris didn't want to watch this right now. It is
Daniel. What is up?
And we are reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion 2023. For a general review, this was actually pretty fun. There's probably only two matches that were not that good. That was not really a big thing for me. But every other match was very fun, very good. I think it was actually a very fun pay-per-view to start, and it got very interesting with the Bullet Club in general. So that's my view for this one.
Just like every big New Japan pay-per-view, this was long as shit, but this was really good. So I guess it was fine in this case. And yeah, I guess we're ready to dive into some of these matches.
What happened was Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer for the number one contendership for Kenny Omega's IWGP United States title. This was a very great match. It kind of incorporated where Will Ospreay's injured his arm. No, wait, his back, I think so he couldn't use his Stormbreaker, so he just finished. It was a really good match with all the crap that's happening. Lance Archer rushed him at the gate. It was very fun. I think it was interesting how they incorporated this, and I was pretty happy that they actually did this in number one contender, because probably it's confirmed now that happening at Forbidden Door will probably be the main event. That'll be probably the best main event right there. But to me, this was a very fun match. I would definitely give this an 8. Very good end with the Hidden Blade.
Yeah, I liked how Ospreay was knocking down Lance with all the elbow strikes and hidden blades towards the end. That was a dope way of finishing off his opponent. Overall, I thought the match was really good. It was actually a short ass match. It was only 8 minutes, from start to finish in the ring. So the fact that they were able to pull this off in 8 minutes is actually pretty damn good. And yeah, Ospreay wins. Ospreay Omega 2 in Canada, Forbidden Door 2. And yeah, like Berman said, hopefully it'll main event. I don't know what the status of MJF and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion is, but we'll talk about who is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion at the end of this video, and we'll talk about more in that later on. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. The right person won here.
Yeah, same thing. And after the match, Ospreay addresses Omega, talking about what he's going to do to him and everything. That's a nice thing that kind of popped up. That Will Ospreay and Kenny big rivalry happening. It sounds interesting. So let's just move on to the next match, which was Just 5 Guys versus the LIJ with some new people, with a new person, Titán. This was a fun match. It was actually pretty okay. But this is why it kind of pissed me off a little bit, and it's still kind of pissy. If they want to make Just 5 Guys a big person, a big group, they should have won this. If they want to make Just 5 Guys change the world, like they're trying to change the world, but they did not even win the match, and they should have won the match, and LIJ won the match. To me, it's just a weird set of events for this. Don't get me wrong, the match was pretty okay, but I felt like Just 5 Guys should have won this completely, because this is a good push for Just 5 Guys so they can get better. But for this match, it was still, again, I was okay with it, so I think I would say a 6.5 for me.
I thought the match was decent. I feel like these guys could have done a lot more if they were given more time, but with less than 10 minutes for an 8-man tag, if you're given less than 10 minutes for a match with 8 people in it, no one's really going to shine that much in that match. And that's kind of unfortunate what happened here. But it was still decent. It was still solid enough. Just 5 Guys lost to LIJ. But this is what I'm thinking. So every person Sonata has defended the title against so far is a part of LIJ. And I could likely see that journey continue with maybe Shingo or Naito, one or the other, or both. He fights both at one point. We'll have to see what happens. But that's the thing. So overall, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, simple. Everything else. Let's go on to the next match. Was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match. The Intergalactic Jet Setters, which are Kushida and Kevin Knight, versus Catch 2-2, which are TJP and Francesco Akira, and those two were accompanied by Dan Maloney, which I was happy to hear that, because if no one knows of this, but he was actually on NXT for a while as a jobber. They never used him really well, and now he's on new IWGP. Sorry, he's on the New Japan. So it's very fun to kind of see him back. So that's kind of a fun fact to see that. But this match was not that bad. There was a lot of crazy crap happening. But I think the best thing happened was at the end of the match, like very end of the match, when who won it, which was Catch 2-2. So they are 2-time junior heavyweight tag team title champions. And it was not. It was not that bad of a match, but I think the best thing happened at the end of the match. And I talked about that after Danny talks about this. I'll give this a 7. It was pretty fun to watch too.
Overall, I thought it was a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good. They kept a solid pace overall in the match from start to finish. And yeah, congrats to Catch 2 for 2. That's all I could really say, man. 7 out of 10.
Yeah. So what happened after the match is one of my very great things. So Clark Connors came out, who is in the Bullet Club right now, and Clark Connors wants those tag team titles, and he was showing, hey, my tag team partner's coming out this Iowa way. But actually, the tag team partner was already inside the ring. Dan Maloney was his tag team partner, and now they are going for them are in the new Bullet Club, the Rebel Club. I'll call it for them. I think it's a great addition. I actually kind of loved that moment. It was very fun to see kind of the reaction of people booing and everything. So it was a fun thing to happen. So with that out of the way, let's go on to the next match, which was the New Japan World TV Championship match. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jeff Cobb, number 2. And this was actually a very great match too. It was very fun. It was very technical. It was a lot of crap that was Zack Sabre doing. Very fun. I think it was good to see these two wrestle again. I think the first one was pretty good. This one was again, and I think the end of the match was very good. How Jeff Cobb was trying to get for the Tour of the Islands, was just kind of a spinning power slam, and Zack Sabre Jr. countered into not a schoolboy. But he actually was, yeah, say schoolboy, really. And it was very, very good. No, it was a schoolboy. It was a crucifix. It was a very good counter. It was very quick, and I think that kind of was a nice showing for Zack Sabre Jr. how he can counter out of everything. So I think it was very fun to watch. So definitely, I'll give this a 7.5.
And for me, I thought it was pretty good. I like all these World TV title matches. I like how they all have this sense of urgency to them with the 15-minute time limits. And you feel that sense of urgency here as well. And yeah, while this isn't the best world title defense, I thought it was not world title, I mean World TV title defense. I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, overall, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, I wonder who will dethrone Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, it's a lot. Maybe best guess is probably Ren Narita, or maybe the other one would be Shota Umino to go for that title again. It's probably the best 2 ideas in my head right now. But so let's go on to the next match, which was a pretty interesting one. Is the vacant IWGP Heavyweight Championships and Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships, who were vacated by Aussie Open because one of them got the injury. So this match was pretty fun. It was combined with the participants were Bishamon, which is Goto, and Yoshi-Hashi versus the House of Torture, Evil, and Yojiro Takahashi, which was I felt like he was always going to cheat. And then the United Empire, which was Great Khan and Aaron Honare. To me, it was actually a fun match. I gotta say that there's so much crap that happened with the House of Torture. I expected it completely. The thing I expected a lot. Like they were just using weapons after weapons after weapons with House of Torture because they could do that crap. That's how they work with House of Torture. But like, it was a very clusterfuck of a match, I would say. But it was not that bad of a match at the same time. And I would have liked United Empire to win because I actually liked that team really much. I really liked it. But at the end, the person who won it, who the people who won it was, and it makes sense. And they are new tag team champions, both strong and IWGP. I think it was like, to me, it was fun, but it was a kind of a clusterfuck. But I kind of liked how it worked. So I give it a 6. It was okay. I actually liked it.
Fair. Yeah, this was my least favorite match of the night because it was such a mess. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a horrible match. Berman is I pretty much feel a similar way to how Berman felt. It was a clusterfuck, but it wasn't a horrible clusterfuck, if that makes sense. You got some cool moments in here for sure. And yeah, the titles go right back to where they were right before Aussie Open won them. So I guess that makes sense. That was expected. And yeah, overall, I am going to give this joint a 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's my least favorite match of the night.
Yeah. What happened after the match is the same repeat from the junior version, the junior side of the things, where Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd reveal themselves. They're the new members of the Bullet Club. Their names will be Bullet Club Wardogs. Now, I think to me, this is very fun. Like I said, I really love Alex Coughlin. He has been very fun to watch from like just regular matches, from like dark kind of things. It was very fun. I actually really like him. And then Gabriel Kidd, he sounds like a dick when you just watch it. But I really love the 2 additions to the new Bullet Club idea. So I was kind of happy to see that. So that was really interesting to me. And the next thing, which is pretty much the biggest thing, which they revealed 32 men of the G1 Climax 33 revealed, and those are, and pronounce some of the names I might pronounce wrong, but don't sue me if I say anything bad. Okada, Naito, Sonata, Ospreay, Tanahashi, Finley, Shota, Shingo, Ishii, Tama and Tamatanga, which are the full tag team, which I'm actually kind of happy to see that. Hikuleo, Gato, Yoshi-Hashi, Yano, Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, Eddie Kingston, which is a great idea. I think that's awesome to see in there. El Fantasmo, my favorite. Narita, Evil, Chase, Cobb, Great Khan. I don't know. What's the other guy's name? Oh no, Aaron Arnare, Kidd, Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin, Haste and Nichols from the stablemen of Jack Sabre Jr. Yota, which is the person who fought against Sonata at the main event, and a big one is Koto from Noah, from Noah. So a big roster, and I think the biggest shock was Koto, which he was probably he's a champion. He was a champion of Noah for a long time. Any thoughts for you, Kenny?
Honestly, I loved the match Okada and Kaito had earlier this year, and I think he is a amazing addition to this tournament. I'm excited as hell to see him get involved in this G1. Same with Eddie Kingston. This G1 Climax feels fresh. And that's a feeling I haven't had about these last few G1 Climax. And that's really cool, you know? And there, you get all this crossover element involved in there. But if I gotta be honest, there really only is one person who can win all of this. There's only one person who has a major story heading into this. That person is Will Ospreay. It can't be anyone else but him who wins this year. It can't be. The only person I'd be willing to accept if Will Ospreay doesn't win, just because this other guy I believe has deserved it a lot, is Zack Sabre Jr. Either Ospreay or Zack. It is time. It is indeed time.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing. I would love to see. Number one always is Ospreay. I love him, so that's number one for me. And I think if anyone else could do it, I would love to see either more accept than anything else. Would be the he just said his name. Damn it, I just messed up my head right now. But them and Zack Sabre Jr. and the other one I really love that to see if they can actually take to pretty do good would be Yota. Yeah, Yota, who was against Sonata, who is against Sonata in the main event because that would be fun. Or there's another one to me because I do like, and that would be Finlay. I'm always a big fan of Finlay in general. So right now, I think that's my ideas. But I think Finlay has another, just the kind of story trying to build up the Bullet Club right now.
I see. And, you know, speaking of Finlay, I have a lot to say about him in this next match. And as for Yoda, I have a lot to say about him in the main event.
Yeah, we talk about that when we get to it. Right now, let's go into the match 6, which is the Never Openweight Championship match, which was David Finlay versus El Phantasmo. The ELP, which is his new song is great. I actually love that new song that he's using. Sounds good, but this match was actually I kind of liked it. It was a bunch of things. There was a bunch of interferences by some minor interferences by the Bullet Club around the David Finlay. But I think it was still a fun match. It was pretty brutal at the same time. But it kind of showed up what David Finlay's kind of pushing into the Bullet Club, where he's trying to make this Bullet Club the aggressive side. No more playful side. Is just so aggressive to anyone. He's just angry. It's an angry wrestling. So this match was fun. I actually liked it more, and because I'm a big fan of both of these guys, so it's kind of a big, fun match for me. So for me, I will give this a 7.5 for me.
Now, all right, this is what I'll say. The match itself was solid. All right, it wasn't a bad match at all, and that is for certain. Now, I will admit, I have been a pretty proud El Phantasmo hater ever since I've been introduced to him. Everything the guy has done, I just absolutely have not liked. But this match and him being out of the Bullet Club was the first time I got to see what this dude is like on his own. And I'll tell you what, I actually don't hate it. I actually am kind of impressed by it. So, I'll tell you what, maybe this guy will end up being a better babyface than a heel. That'll be for starters. You know, he came out and his presentation already just seems a whole lot better and a whole lot different than he was presented in the Bullet Club. And as for Mr. David Finlay and the rest of the Bullet Club, I get what it's all trying to be. You know, you got Alex Coughlin, you got Gabriel Kidd, you got a few others in there, all young, right? A bunch of young blood is in this new Bullet Club. That's the intention behind it, I guess you could say, in a way. It's to help elevate all this younger talent. And while I respect that presence of it, I'm sorry, I can't get behind this Bullet Club, man. I really cannot. I mean, especially looking at all the past iterations of it, like, with Finn Balor and AJ Styles and Kenny Omega. It's like, dude, I can't take this shit seriously. I just absolutely can't. I'm sorry. This dude's a fucking imposter. That is exactly what David Finlay is. And, it's like how Berman calls out Braun Breaker for being like the imposter of NXT champions. That's exactly how I feel about David Finlay, the fucking imposter of New Japan Pro Wrestling faction leaders. Like, this dude just doesn't have it. I'm sorry. He doesn't have it. He can have an amazing match here or there, but I am not impressed by this dude outside of that one little thing. So, yeah. That's all I have to say. I'm not a fan of this Bullet Club one bit. I don't like it. But the match itself I did like. So overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's just that this Bullet Club just feels like a joke. I can't take it seriously.
Yeah, it might. To me, this is kind of like their starting phase, and I know it's a long startup phase, but I kind of count this as its starting phase of, well, after this, they can go rough around a whole New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. That's how I kind of feel, and I feel like they're going to get better over time. Because I do like, don't get me wrong, my favorite of all time is Jay White as leaders. I'm one of the biggest fans of him. Everyone knows that for myself. But to me, this one is right up there because it's kind of fun, but I like him. But still, he's slow right now for me. But another thing I want to bring up too, I was a big fan of El Phantasmo before this happened. I love him because he was just so fun, and I think he had a lot of fun matches and great matches too. So
it's because It's because he reminded me like the Young Bucks, and you know how I feel about the Young Bucks.
Yeah, we don't like him. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I think that's perfectly fine. So, but I think now he's getting a lot more better, and I think definitely babyface kind of works for him very well. And I think that he loves being a face than anything else. So, with that said, let's go on to the next match, which is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Hiromu Takahashi versus the winner of the Super Juniors, Master Wato. I gotta say, this match was actually very fun. I was really pushing for Master Wato. I think he should have deserved this match to win this match completely. It makes to me, I kind of felt like it made no sense why they let Hiromu win again. Like, if not Master Wato, who's taking that title away from Hiromu? I haven't seen a lot of people that are more impressive at maybe only show more than anyone else, but I think Master Wato deserved that thing out of anyone. Or it could be El Desperado, but I don't know how this is going to work right now. So it kind of made no sense, but I think still Haru and Master Wato made a great match. I think it was so fun to watch. I just still was disappointed that Master Wato didn't win. I really love him, and he was his evolution kind of blew up. It sucked that he lost, but it still kind of acted like maybe a push for Master Wato to do more things. So, still, this match was actually very fun. I still liked it. I was just disappointed at the ending, but I think still, it doesn't change anything. I would give this an 8 still.
I'm going to sound like such a fucking boomer, but whatever. Back in my day, when John Cena won all the damn time, we used to say, LOL, Cena wins. You know what I'm going to say now? LOL, Hiromu wins. Because that's how fucking often this happens. This motherfucker, and I say that politely, this motherfucker, Hiromu Takahashi, has not moved up from this division in 7 years. He's dominated this division for 7 years. He should have been up in the heavyweight division by now. I've said this in my Wrestle Kingdom 11 review. I said this in my Wrestle Kingdom 17 review. This dude has owned the division for way too long. And I'm sorry, once he loses that title to El Desperado, can this dude just never compete for this belt again? Can he just actually move on to the heavyweight title? Because I'm getting sick of this. And I know he can compete in the heavyweight division because we've seen him do it multiple times before. So, yeah, I did think the match was really good, though. And, yeah, I guess El Desperado has to be the guy. I don't know who else will dethrone Hiromu right now. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, same with me. I think Desperado is probably one of the biggest ones. If not him, I don't know who else can they give Hiromu that title for, or Titan. I don't know, Titan. So match 8, which was one of the most interesting matches of this card. Never open weight 6-man tag team championship match. Chaos, which is Okada, Ishii, and Tanahashi versus the BCC, John Moxley, Claudio, and Shota Umino. This was an amazing match. It was very fun. It was very close to it too. A lot of chaos too, but it was a very fun match to see. Kind of them, John Moxley and Claudio in New Japan. It was very fun to see, and the showing that how Umino is. This is kind of the story for Umino, really, for this match, really, because Umino wants to defeat Okada. That's his goal in his life, but in this time he couldn't. And I think there's still parts which he was doing like a DDT, almost pinned him. Kind of felt really like big for him. So really, I do wanted to see the BCC win completely. I would love to see that because you're probably going to see BCC versus House of Black because that sounds like an amazing, like a 10 out of 10. Do you think about that match right there? But this still was a great match, even though it was so good. I think it had a lot of fun parts, and there's nothing else I have to say except I say it's definitely a 9.5.
This kicked ass. This was definitely the best match of Dominion 2023. And honestly, you had some just great stuff right there. The main story in the match was definitely with Okada and Umino. Umino doing everything in his power to try to beat Okada, but Okada just once again runs through yet another young guy because recently Okada has just been kind of running through all the younger talent recently. And, he's reasserting his dominance among the newer generation. And that's kind of what he's been doing right now with this 6-man tag title run with OGs like Tanahashi and Ishii. And in some ways, I see Shota is very influenced by Tanahashi. So seeing like him face off against Tanahashi in certain moments was really cool. Moxley and Ishii went at it again. Claudio and Ishii, that in itself needs to be a one-on-one match because it was insane. Claudio in New Japan was basically everything I could have wanted it to be. And yeah, again, this was the best match of the night. It was fantastic. Chaos retains. And overall, I'm going to have to give this joint a 9.5 out of 10. But now let's talk about what happened after the match.
Yes. Daniel Bryan announced that he wanted to go against Okada. And he didn't really specify. I think he said it, and I forgot. Again, he said Forbidden Door 2. So this seems like it's 100%. I feel like probably 90% that this was going to happen. Bryan Danielson.
Another interesting fact is that it was filmed up in Red
Forbidden Door
Rock.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't hear you there. But yeah, like the whole thing that's interesting is how that Brian's whole segment was clearly filmed at Red Rock. And, that's just really dope. And then another element with that is that, how he talked about, the desert itself in his promo. And Brian just cut such an amazing promo on Okada here. And I'm going to be honest. If there is one match that could main event over Omega and Ospreay, it could be this. Now, I think Omega Ospreay should still main event. You're not going to hear me complain one bit if this ends up being the main event instead.
Yeah, same. Probably same thing. And I bet they're probably going to do it like a double main event if they wanted to. If they could just do a double main event. I don't think anyone's going to get pissed off of that. This is both matches in total are just sounds awesome to watch. You're wrong. See Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., which everyone wants to see, but still, this is a good step up Bryan Danielson versus Okada. So, to me, this is a great match to see when Forbidden Door rolls around again. So let's head on to the main event, which to me was a pretty fun main event. IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. Sonata versus the Gene Blast. Yoto, the Douki. His last name's not in a strong suit, but still, I gotta say, Gene Blast. Like the name, nice nickname. But I really loved this match. It was very fun, and this is not more or less my first time hearing that much about Yoto. And I gotta say, right now is kind of rising up to my favorite just from like one match because I just loved during the match. He was smiling all the time with the creepiest smile. He was just smiling like a maniac. To me, that was super fun. And I don't know why, but I had a feeling that kind of Yota is kind of like a Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins put together. Like he kind of felt like that to me. But I didn't think I didn't make anything bad. I think Yota's fun as hell, and Sonata did a great job too. And all the match, like the submissions going through, like Sonata was doing a lot of submissions against Yuta, and Yuta was trying to do spears, which is his spear is the finisher for himself. And there's so many great moves that Yuta showed off, so many things that Sonata showed off. To me, this it was a great. I would have loved it, and I would love to see part two. And I think that'd be fun. I want to see more from Yuta, more things that kind of give me more saying, yeah, 100%, he's one of my favorites so far, just by one match shows for me. But to me, I really loved this. It was very fun. So definitely an 8.5 for me.
Yeah, this match was great. And it was pretty risky to put Yoda in this spot because I'm going to be honest, me, Berman, a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling fans didn't even really know who this guy was. And yeah, he really impressed in this match. And overall, I can say this guy definitely will be one of the future representatives of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's proven by the fact that he already got a title match, this early into his career. But yeah, I feel like he's going to do some amazing things here. And throughout the match, he looked very dominant. But in the end, Sonata woke up, chose violence, and decided to end him and retain his title. Yeah, great match. 8.5 out of 10. Now, Berman, before we rate the overall show and everything, we got to talk about this. Sonata did confirm his next appearance will be at the G1, but does that mean he's missing Forbidden Door? I have no idea. But let's say this. If he competes at Forbidden Door, who should he defend his title against? I have a few people in mind. There's Chris Jericho, there's Adam Cole, there's a few others. So give your thoughts.
I really like the Adam Cole thought. I think that sounds more fun. But I don't know. I think it's either could be Adam Cole, which makes the perfect sense, Chris Jericho, but I think someone that Sonata could.
There's also Adam Page.
Yeah, Adam Page could work. I would like to see something else. I forgot the guy's name, but I feel like I would like to see Claudio. Claudio would be fun, but I think probably he's gonna be in probably a different match there. But
maybe
I think
will defend his ROH title.
It makes sense, but I would love to see maybe the champion versus champion. I don't think it's going to happen because of MGF being that person. But I don't know. If I would love to see that, I can't think of maybe someone else that I would love to see. Ricky Starks. Probably Ricky Starks might be doing against Jay White, maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool though.
I think.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities. I think MJF will defend against Tanahashi. I have a weird feeling about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It just needs to be. I think it would be good. Maybe Roderick Strong versus Sonata. That could definitely work. I think I think it's a bunch of choices, but they're trying to build it up right now.
Lots of possibilities. Yeah. So, with all that being said, what do you rate the show?
I'll give it a 8 for myself.
Fair enough. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I thought it was very good.
Well, thank you guys for watching this Powerbomb Project episode. My name is Berman.
And I've been Daniel.